Come to order, Council. Good evening, and welcome to the first meeting since the Queen has passed away. So I now ask you to stand for 2 minutes. Everybody perfectly good. God save the King.
God save the King.
Thank you, councillors. Tonight you'll see you've got a new system in front of you, so please remain seated. Put your hand up if you wish to speak, and the microphones will pick you up if you're nice and clear. No mumbling. If you talk clear, the microphones will pick you up. We're trying a new system to try and satisfy everybody outside of the room. Okay? So we'll go from there. Thank you very much. Welcome all of you to this meeting. Welcome members of the public. Welcome to the Borough Councillors. The County Councillor is absent, unfortunately. To receive members' apologies for absence.
So we've got County Councillor White, Borough Councillor Jussie Radcliffe, and Town Councillor Robin Payne for family reasons.
Thank you. Accept them? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. To receive members' declaration of interest.
I'd like to declare under item 7, I've received a payment, so therefore I want to place it on there.
And I also want to as well, for the same reason. Thank you.
I've got a bill payment, I believe. It's not on this one.
It's not on this one, it's not gone on.
I'll pay you tomorrow.
No, okay.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, good news. I met former Councillor John Fox in town today. He tells me he is recovering well and feels very lucky. So it's nice to hear, isn't it? The last couple of weeks, all of you and the staff have been by my side and carried out our duties to our late crew. Your support has helped Julie and myself through uncharted times. Meeting had to be postponed, so we now have a lot of work to catch up with, to clear the backlog and deal with issues to make decisions. Any unnecessary emails at this time wouldn't be appreciated. We need to look at dispensation of councillors for agenda items in order that we can all carry out our duties. I thank Borough Councillor Bullen today for the information he sent through regarding town matters with the Borough Council. It was very helpful and a way forward. Thank you. Item 4, public participation written reports. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot that I've got a quiz night this week, if anybody's interested in coming along. That's on Friday night, it starts at 7 o'clock. And I thank you, Councillor Lever, for getting all the raffle prizes together. Well done, you. As usual. Well done, thank you. Right, councillor.
Just one more, sorry.
One more?
Yeah, but also the cinema.
Oh, and also we have a cinema. When is that?
13th of October.
13th of October, there's a cinema.
Tickets still available at the Duke.
Yeah, that's called The Duke, which will be a very good film. Now we'll go to public participation and written reports and written questions. County Councillor report, has he sent a report? No. Borough councillors, does anybody wish to report anything? Apart from what Councillor Bullen's already done? No? Okay. Please? Presence? No? Public participation, there is one question I understand.
We've received a written question to the officer. I'll just read to you all. So from a resident in Downham Market. I imagine councillors are as concerned as we all must be by the rising cost of living. Inhabitants of Downham and businesses are facing financial hardship from rising energy costs and commodity prices. Does the council have plans for coordinated cooperation with other organisations in the town which will be equally concerned to see what might be done? The churches, voluntary organisations such as Rotary and others are perhaps wondering if the council should take a lead. In some parts of the country, libraries are being suggested as venues where people who are struggling with heating costs might go for warmth. Food banks are warning that as costs rise, donations are falling off, just as our families are making greater demands on their services. I realise that the council is not directly responsible for specific welfare matters or for financial support to individuals in need. However, it probably has the general welfare of the town as one of its responsibilities. And we are put a proposal regarding this question on item 12 on the agenda.
That's on item 12 on the agenda.
Public participation?
Yeah?
I have a question.
If you like to go up there and ask it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah?
Yeah. This was handed to me, not in my position as Borough Councillor, but as a member of the public. And I'll read it to you. It says, can you please ask this question for me at the next Town Council meeting? In the interest of transparency, clarity, public interest and accountability, I wonder if the Council could please provide me with the answers to the following. 1. How much are Morrison's paying the Council for their car park? How long is the new lease and when did the new lease take effect from? 2. Can you tell me how much Morrison's were paying prior to the new lease coming into effect? And 3. Lastly, who negotiated the new lease with Morrison's and did it go before the full Council for approval? If so, was the meeting minuted? If these questions cannot be answered tonight, then I would like them answered at the next full Council meeting, as I'm sure the public would like to know. You can have that, Mr. Clark, if you say you're writing it down.
Has he got the name of the person on so that we can reply to him?
Yeah, Claire Lockwood.
Okay?
Oh, she's not here.
Okay. Thank you, we can have that copy. Any other members of the public wish to speak? No?
I don't have all those answers.
We don't have answers for any of the questions at this moment, no. Okay, on to item 5. To approve minutes of the following meetings. Full Council on 19th of July 2022.
So 3 votes, because we've got 3 lots of minutes to... there's 3 lots of minutes of full council, so only 3 votes.
Right.
There's
an extraordinary full council meeting
on the 3rd of August.
3rd of August and an extraordinary full council meeting on the 31st of August. So we'll need a vote for the 3.
each individual is separate.
Each individually. So the first one is the 19th of July. Proposer. And the seconder. All in favour? 3rd of August. Proposer and the seconder. Yeah, and seconded by Councillor Bacon. All in favour?
I'll abstain because I wasn't there.
Extraordinary full council meeting 1st of August. Proposer, Councillor Weaver. Seconded, Councillor Lane. All in favour?
Abstain.
Thank you. All right, Matt? Councillors' questions. Has any councillors got any questions they wish to raise? Yeah? You remain seated, please, and just talk.
Well, it's just been brought up, but I'd like the council to form a working party to look into the Morrison's leases.
Thank you. I think that's been suggested before, so I think, yes, it is necessary. Property probably will be looking into that. Yeah? Councillor Weaver.
I've been asked by several residents, I don't know if it's the right time to bring it up, about the weeds that are in the gutters. I don't know when, if it is the right time, but they're concerned that we are not getting the weeds removed. I know it's supposed to be about 3 times a year, but I haven't seen anyone come round our estate at all.
Which,
The old Jim Russell's estate, but it's not just there. It's Downham is not getting the same as they should do. Normally, they would come round and they would spray it, but they haven't been doing that.
That's a borough council issue. Probably.
I thought it was, but there's no...
Yeah, that's good to bring it up. We can mention it.
Yeah.
budgets, we have had a note, budgets have been cut. We can have a look at that.
Yeah.
Can I say it's not a borough council, it's highways. There is a programme in place which is being done at least twice this year and is currently underway. I don't know whether it got to Downham yet, but it's definitely underway.
County Council, so who do we G up there?
Who's your GO?
I've got a contact.
You got
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say, as a private individual, that has been mentioned to me by friends, and I've raised it twice with the county council as a private individual, and they told me they were doing it in June. They didn't. So around my area, which is around Jim Russell Estate. So I think that's something that could be raised.
Okay.
So there's a portal, you can actually report that, stuff like that on the county council portal.
Yeah, I've done it.
Good. Okay, well, the clerk,
Yeah, can I just say, sort of looking on social media, I'm disgusted to see that the football club are having to pick dog mess up off the football pitch before they train and before matches. And it's getting worse and worse. I know they've possibly said that being told by parents it's not too bad, but I've spoken to one or two of them, and every week they are picking up dog mess. Now, I don't know whether sort of residents would like their kids to be sliding around in dog mud while they're playing football or things like that, but I think it's absolutely disgusting that it's left on the field for these players to slide around in, go home with it stinking on the clothes or whatever else. I think something needs to be done, possibly to speak to the borough about getting some signs up there, no dogs on the playing field.
we've got the dog wardens at the moment, haven't we?
I'm a dog walker and go with a group of dog walkers, and we regularly pick up stuff that's left there by other people because it's not fair to the kids going on the fields and people walking on the fields. But it is just a minority, I think, just not looking after what they're doing. Lots of them are on the phones instead of looking at what the dog's doing. They're letting it run loose and they're just not picking it up.
Yeah.
And some don't intend to pick it up anyway.
Okay, we'll take that on board and report it to the borough. Thank you. Any other questions for councillors? No? Okay. Agreement of payment of bills. Who can tell us?
These were circulated in this
You've all had them, haven't you? You're all happy you've read them?
310 to 481.
Yeah. Any questions on them before we take proposal, no? Okay.
What's the hit on the burn rate? Roughly? So I'm trying to speed burn rate.
I haven't got that information.
Oh,
I will prepare it for finance, but I was expecting the questions first.
sorry.
I mean,
We're probably here in 6 months.
I was going to say we're plus where we should be at 6 months, so
That's fine.
we're in a better position than we should be. We've got just over 800,000 in the bank, but that doesn't include reserves for the infrastructure in a month.
I just wanted to, there's a lot of money on down for 3 months nearly.
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Patterson.
I would just like to make a comment about the cost of insurance. I was amazed by that, at how much we pay, over £16,000 for insurance.
Yeah,
Which,
that was discussed at the last meeting. There were 10 active claims against the council, so that just doubled our
Yeah.
premium.
Yeah.
So hopefully now things are settling down, we'll be better off next year.
Hopefully they will reduce it, but not. Doesn't hold you back. Thank you. So, no questions on that? Okay, can I have a proposer and a seconder? Proposer, Councillor Lawson, Councillor Lane, also. All vote? I can't vote, my hand is down.
So 2 abstentions, everybody else in favour, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. To accept the recommendations from the following committees, that should be the recommendations from the minutes, isn't it? Yeah. Finance Committee, 28th of June.
As Chair of the Finance Committee, I recommend that members adopt and accept the recommendation as made in the minutes of the Finance Committee.
I'll second that. All in favour?
As chairman of the planning
No,
and...
no, sorry, you're in favour of finance? I didn't see your hand, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
You
That's
catch
all
up
right,
with
I
me.
missed your hand.
All right.
That's all right, were you in favour?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, apologies, I missed you. Thank you.
Do you want the hand shown again?
No.
Okay. Planning and Environment Committee, 5th of July and 20th of July, Frank.
As chairman of the planning and environment committee, I recommend that you accept the minutes of the planning and environment committee for the 5th of July and the 20th of July inclusive.
Thank you. Seconder?
Thank you, Councillor Lawson.
All in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Human Resource Committee, 15th of July, 22nd and 5th of August.
Chairman of the HR Committee, I ask that these meetings be accepted as listed.
Thank you. Seconder? All in favour?
Thank you.
Property Committee of 6th of July.
As chair of the property committee, I ask the council to accept the minutes of the 6th of July.
Seconder? Michael Lane. All in favour?
Thank you.
Town Hall Committee, 6th of July. It's you, Dave. Catch you up.
Chairman of the Town Hall Committee, I ask that the minutes for the 6th of July be accepted. Thank you.
Seconder?
Absolutely.
Yes. All in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Car Parks Management Committee, the 26th of July.
As Chair of the Car Park Management Strategy Committee, I ask members to accept the first meeting, the minutes of this first meeting for 2 years.
Seconder? Councillor Wells. All in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 9, to receive a grant application from Downham Market Christmas Lights Limited.
Yeah, thank you. So we received an application, as the Mayor outlined there, for Christmas lights from the Christmas Lights Limited Group, and they're asking for a grant of £10,000, primarily to carry out eyebolt testing around town, so the Christmas lights are all secured to buildings to eyebolts. They do need to be tested. There's obviously a public liability to come down in the street. However, they're asking for 10,000. They did receive a quote last year. It was in excess of £8,000 to do that work. Couldn't take it up at the time because of COVID and other issues. The individual that quoted for that work has now left and he's no longer available. Most of this work, because of the location, has to be carried out on a Sunday, so there's a cost implication there. Probably closing the roads, we get a cherry picker, they get a cherry picker in to do that. So they're asking for £10,000. However, with the grants that you've already given out this year, you currently have £9,000 still remaining in your grants budget till the end of this financial year, so through to March. So if you did allocate the full amount, that would wipe out your grant pot till the end of the year, unless obviously you... So, as a proposal, you could perhaps meet half of that cost with the grant, and you could perhaps start that work.
Councillor Lloyd.
Can I just ask, are there a time limit on when they need this money before this testing is done, on the time scale?
So
Can the Christmas Lights Committee give us some lead, please?
Robinson approached me, and this is a non-profit, as you know, and this wouldn't have to be done every year, but it does need to be done. It hasn't been done for about 3 years, I believe. This huge grant, which it seems to us, would not be, they wouldn't want that another year. It is purely because it hasn't been done for such a long time.
Yes, so how many, what is the time scale? When has this got to be?
So we
Well,
be
now
done by before the money has to see.
yeah, so the lights go up in November.
Yeah.
So we're just going to make sure that when they go, that we're confident that they're not coming back down.
Yeah.
Has it got to be done this Christmas or next Christmas?
It's got to be done now.
Yeah. October.
So it's out of date at the moment.
Yeah.
Councillor Shannon.
As I remember, the last time it was done, Borough either paid half of it or all of it for the ring testing to be done. Have we approached them now?
Am I aware of that?
They were, I can assure you that, John.
Right, we'll investigate that.
Can we make a conditional recommendation based on that?
We need to, because we can't leave it another month, because it's going to take us into October, so we need to really make a decision this evening.
How many other grants are we expecting between now and the end of the year? There's another 3 to come in. In what price? 3,000? 2,000? 1,000?
I'm suspecting that the food bank will ask for one. The swim project will probably ask for one, and games will probably ask for one.
We gave 5,000 to Eternity, and I believe, wasn't that in 21?
Yeah, it was last financial year.
Yeah. They had 5,000.
I think I will stick my neck out and be brave and ask to propose £5,000 to them.
I think that would be
Because I think we can satisfy the others with what we've got.
Yeah. I think
So if anybody would like to second that, I would propose it, yeah.
Second that. Yeah, second that.
All in favour?
We need it done.
We need it done now,
Are
we
we
need
still
this
gonna-
group to be happy.
Are we still going to go to the borough as well?
Subject
to
to
borough not funding it.
Yeah, we'll go to the borough. Okay?
Yeah, so everyone's in favour?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Number 10, to discuss the purchase of number 4, Marketplace Downham Market and Gree actions.
So as council is aware, the office was given permission to negotiate on behalf of the council for the purchase of number 4 Marketplace with a maximum purchase price recommended by the council of £150,000. We submitted several lower offers, but eventually got to £150,000, which was rejected for a higher offer by the vendor. And you'll have seen possibly around, if you've been around town, that the property was marked as sold. That has now fallen through, and the original purchaser was withdrawn, so it's now back on the market. The vendors come to us and said that they will take £160,000, and we can get a deal immediately. But from the discussions we've had in the office and the work that we've done behind that, we would recommend that you, if you do want to continue with the possible purchase of the property, that you stick to £150,000 and we're instructed to go back and make that offer, but no more. But that's obviously a council decision.
Councillors, your floor.
Yeah. I think that we should stay away from this purchase, 150,000, and then you're going to be talking probably another 100,000 to put that building properly great. I can see the roof is going to have to be stripped off and repaired again. A lot of work in there. I think save money for the taxpayer and the Downham people, and go the way we're looking into altering the town hall here and making offices in here. Probably save 200,000 in costs of buying that property.
Can I just say, sorry, we're already looking at architects to do the other place next door that we've already owned, and we were going to make do with that, so I don't see if we actually need the other building personally.
I agree with that completely. I think in these times we shouldn't be spending any more money on property.
Anybody else?
Yeah, when this was first mooted, I thought it was a good idea to investigate, but I, having looked at the economic prospects, I just don't think we can justify spending such a large amount of money at this time. So I would prefer to have a look at and see what the plans are for the other building, but I just can't justify spending such a large amount of taxpayers' money at this time.
Any other comments? The staff are right to bring it back to us because they've been approached, but it is your decision to vote for it or against it.
I would like to see the plans that we have for creating offices in the town hall, because I'm not convinced that offices in the town hall will actually produce a clear and helpful working environment for.
So it's actually number 6.
It's actually number 6. Number 4 as well would have created a much larger space for the offices and for working with people who come in for whatever reason. I think £150,000 is actually a good price to pay for that property, and I agree with you. It's not the climate is not good for spending money, but possibly we'll be spending money to save money, because the town council offices that we have at the moment are set to be rented out for more than enough money.
Yeah.
So I think it would balance the books.
Yeah. We wouldn't do it without releasing that other property.
Yes, absolutely.
To come back on that, I hear what you're saying. That's why when the rules were first muted, I thought it might be a good idea. However, are the plans available? Because I think unless we know what the plans have shown up, is it viable, is it feasible for the staff? Will it be a good working environment for them? So we need to see those really before we can make a decision on the building.
Councillor Shannon.
I initially agreed that we needed that building, but the other people ducked out, as I understand it, after getting the survey done. Have we seen the survey report on number 6? Number 4, sorry.
We've had our own survey done, so we had the survey done.
I mean, would we get an idea of what it is going to cost on top of 150?
So I think the people who were looking to purchase number 4, who put in the higher offer, were looking to make a commercial unit downstairs and return the upstairs to accommodation. but as it currently is, it isn't mortgageable because there is no kitchen or bathroom in there, so that was an issue with him as well. But in terms of turning it back into a dwelling, there would be a lot of work to do. We obviously wouldn't be looking to turn the upstairs accommodation into a dwelling of the office space. Just coming back to the point on number 6, we've had 3 architects visit, because obviously we need to get 3 quotes. And at that point I would be purely looking at number 6, turning number 6 into office accommodation. That was always the plan, because when we started on this road, number 4 wasn't for sale, it was a laundrette. We're confident that we can fit into number 6 and we'll get the plans drawn up for that. But it was brought to council previously because this property, which effectively joins onto number 6, and then therefore the town hall hadn't been put up for sale for 25 years. So it was an opportunity perhaps for council to look at it. As I say, we were negotiated up to a maximum price previously, which was rejected by the vendor. We were contacted by the agent because that's what we're falling through, and as I say, we're just bringing it back to you. It's your decision. But if you go against the purchase of number 4, that won't stop the proposed move to number 6.
Councillor Lawrence.
Can I just ask what the quotes for number 4 is in comparison to buying old Swiss cleaners at 150,000 and then spending another 100 on it? What's the comparison?
Sorry,
comparison in doing the offices which the town hall open, we own,
yes.
Or the Swiss cleaners?
We've got, I think at the last meeting was an EGM, but at the previous council meeting we allocated us funds for the architect of up to £10,000 to draw the plans. That's where we're at currently. We've had a couple of builders look at the proposal, subject to obviously detailed plans, which haven't been forthcoming because we haven't done them, but we're looking probably up to about 50k to do the conversion.
So it's got 60k to 250k.
Mm-hmm.
And then accommodate the staff which is right in the building, which I think would be fantastic because the staff are then on site.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Councillor Walls.
Yeah, if they'd have come back to me and said, now you can have it the same price as I was called out, I'd immediately offer them less.
Okay, well, it's not...
I wouldn't go in at that price,
Yeah.
I'd go in under and start them again.
The council staff can't do that without your permission.
No.
Councillor Sharp.
I personally would have liked to have had these a different way round. 11 and 10 seem to be in the wrong place to me.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
If
I
you
agree
look
there.
at it, you've got architect's quote doing the drawing here. All right, the purchase in the market. I mean, we should know what it's going to cost to convert this before we decide on buying the other one, I think.
They're actually 2 separate items, really.
Yeah, but it
We
basically...
keep it 2 separate items, because that would work better.
So,
Right.
so obviously when we were getting the architect, our bid for the purchase of number 4 had fallen through, our bid had been rejected, so we were then going ahead for number 6. So we've had 3 architects come in looking at the redevelopment of number 6. Subsequently, number 4 has come back up for sale. We put it on the agenda that way around because if you decided to go ahead with the purchase, then we would have to look at the plans again for the architects because there wouldn't be just developing number 4, it would have to be number 6 as well. So the swings and roundabouts, but that's why we went with it like that.
If there's no more comments on that, you've got to decide for or against. So I'll put the proposal forward. Is there any proposer for 4?
Sorry, I need to know what the proposal is. Are you
The
proposing to
proposal
reject
against,
the purchase?
against the purchase.
Against the, yeah.
Against the purchase.
I will second that proposal.
All in favour?
This is against.
Against. All in favour, against.
I don't think we should have a negative proposal, we should do it the other way around.
Well, someone's going to need to propose that we do then, if you want to
Not
do it that way.
necessarily, you can word it the other way, that's the point.
What you're saying is you want a full proposal to start with?
Or, no. I
What was the figure of
believe
purchasing
you
them?
can't make a
You're in
negative
favour of
proposal.
purchasing the property or not?
Yes.
Okay? So, can you come back to me on that one?
I was just saying, you can't make the proposal then, because if you're against it, you can't
Yeah,
propose that we're in
making-
favour of it.
I'm not making
So
it.
it has to be someone else proposing it.
So, is anybody would like to propose that we purchase number 4?
I'm happy to propose that.
Have you got a seconder?
Yeah.
Second, Will. So we'll go with that one first.
So all in favour of purchasing number 4? 5 in favour. Those abstaining? So everybody else is against?
Against? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is not carried. Number 11, to receive architect's quotes for preparing drawings for town hall conservation to staff, officers and agree action. Town hall conversion of conservation.
So we've, as I previously said, we've had 3 architects in looking at the conversion of number 6 to propose new town council offices. The last one visited just about 10 days ago, and we've had 3 quotes in, and they range from £5,500 to £6,500, and this will give us the full drawings to take to planning and also for detailed costings from builders, electricians, etc. Now, previously you voted to allow us to spend up to £10,000 to have those plans drawn. So this is well within that budget. I think previously, it says here, their drawings of town conversion to staff officers and agree actions. They're very similarly skilled, the architects, in terms of their experience and what they've done previously. They're all well confirmed. But all we've got at the moment are three proposals and costings, and they say they range from 5,400 to 6,500. It's what your actions are now. Are you happy for us to proceed and what we think is best in terms of what we need as an office space and work with the architect that will probably give us the best space, or if you have another sort of kind of proposal?
Comments, please? Yep.
Well, the obvious thing is we have to work with the staff who are going to occupy and using the space, because they're the ones that are there 5 days a week, so we have to take their preferred setup.
Any other comments?
I agree with what Deputy Mayor
Sorry,
I would have thought the best step forward now is to get the architect to give us a full set of working drawings that we can put out for quotations, get the repairs done. You've got quotations from the architect, take the best architect that you consider, get some working drawings done on it, get it finalised what it's going to cost to do it, then we can have another discussion after that.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
We'll just proceed on that.
Shall we just proceed on that? I don't think we need to vote
No,
on that.
the budget was voted last time. So.
The budget is there. It's now up to the clerk and the deputy clerk to just work out the best there. Okay? Thank you for that. To discuss community of October 22, March 23 and agree action. Community.
Yeah, so this comes back to the public question about what the council doing in terms of providing a safe space, warm safe space, and lots of parish councils, town councils are doing something, and we've had some comments from residents and we've had some comments from councillors. What we would like to do as an office staff, obviously bring it to you today, is that we would like to set up a community hub, and our plan will be to run it probably from October through to March. We would oversee it and manage it, but we'd be working with voluntary groups like Salvation Army. What we would do is make the town hall available on a Wednesday, one day a week, and then the Salvation Army providing volunteers, Morrison's and their community champion providing discounted food and parcels, and Dan Jordan offering to provide potatoes. We can do hot baked potatoes, we've got a jack potato. We would run this weekly, roughly sort of 10 till 2 weekly. So the cost to the town council would be making the space available. It's here anyway, so the building is heated through that period of time. And then as an office staff, we would administer that. So that's what we're asking you to consider.
Councillor Lever.
Oh, that's a great idea. As you know, I've said something like on the lines to you. Could you have a corner where you can have newspapers, games, or something like that people can play with and do?
Yeah, so we're planning to have all the round tables out, and then if demand allows, then obviously the long tables, and then we're going to speak to some other community groups that have offered puzzles, newspapers, games, things like that. So if somebody wants to stay from 10 till 2, they can. If they only want to pop in 12 till 1 and just grab some toast, then they can do. It's a free flow environment. The only obviously restriction is we can only have a maximum of 150 people in here at any one time. So that's the only real restriction.
Brilliant.
Councillor Morris.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea, especially with the present climate and everything's going to get, budgets are getting tighter. Anybody are going to approach Tesco's as well? If Morrison's are going to be champions, Tesco's will be approached if they can.
We will attempt to, that's as much as our
donations and such.
Leave that with the staff, they'll
They do have a charity champion.
Yeah. Councillor Wilson.
I think it should be emphasised that this is not a reaction to this move, that the staff already started looking into this several weeks ago.
Yes.
I'll just concur with that. I raised it with the office because I saw Munsley Council were doing something similar. And well done to Claire and the team, obviously, because they're already one step ahead of Munsley and we're in the process of arranging it. So just well done to the office for being proactive as ever.
And the always, Michaelson.
And looks like the Methodist church rooms are also helping out as well, doing the same sort of thing.
What days are they doing that?
I've no idea at the moment.
Okay.
There are thinking.
Frank.
Is there any support coming from the library in the town? Or the Norfolk County Council, if I care to put it that way?
Don't know. Find it.
Okay, thank you.
We'll ask the question. Right. We need to vote that we want to have a community hub. Can I have a proposal, please?
Councillor Wilson.
Councillor Doyle, second it. All in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. Community hub, here we go. Number 13, discuss and
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah,
Can
go
I
on.
just say that we're looking at starting on the 12th of October.
12th of October. Okay. To discuss and resurfacing, I think the Morrison with the car park, within the Hollis and agree action. Did you mean Hollis 1 or 2?
That's why it's been done in inverted commas.
Morrison's. The one, I always get confused when I say Hollis 1 and Hollis 2. It's the one, the square next to Morrison's.
Hollis 2.
Hollis 2.
Hollis is a big one.
Right. Hollis 2.
The staff car parking, is it?
No.
No, it's the other one.
No, after the Hollis number 2 is the one beside Morrison's. Hollis number 1 is the big one where you go up there with your bike. Okay, so we're talking about resurfacing Ollie's number 2.
Yeah, so we've had a number of quotes through to resurface and do some white lining in that area. It's not a complete resurface, it's a patch resurface, but we would need up to £30,000 to do that work.
And that's just the entrance strip going up, the strip going across and the exit strip. That's not the entire car park. It doesn't touch a single parking space.
Does that include sign writing the exit and everything?
No, that's going to be additional.
This is a silly idea, but maybe not. Can we approach Morrison's or Morrison's head office or anything like that to see if they would be able to, let's say, donate or put some money down to help do this job for them, because it's for their business as well.
So we have got a contract with Morrison's, and one of the questions at the beginning of the one of the questions at the beginning of the meeting was to look at the contract. We don't have all of the information here tonight, so we were unable to answer that. But the contract that we currently have with Morrison's is they're not responsible for the maintenance of that area. We have been approached by an individual who would like to purchase that car park, but we've got no further than a tentative inquiry. But obviously, if you wanted to pursue that and look at that, then we would need to vote on this work at the moment, because we could see what that offer was. Well, we've had 3 quotes and they're within £100 of each other.
Has this to be done? When is this to be done? If it is done?
It's not urgent that it needs doing, but it does need doing. So it doesn't, if you defer it at this meeting and we get more information in terms of we look at the lease and we look at this potential offer, then we can take that to
What is in the budget? How much has been budgeted, or has this not been budgeted?
It was budgeted for £3,000 to maintain all our car parks.
How much?
3,000.
£3,000.
And I suggest that this goes back to the Finance Committee for discussion, so we can have a look at it and see a way forward.
But the one thing...
Hang on a minute. Who's first? You.
Can I just ask a question? Can, with the renegotiating of the lease with Morrison's, can the lease include that Morrison's maintains the car park?
We might not be able to. We're in a current lease with Morrison's that has a period of time to run, and if they don't want to come out of that lease early, and then I would say pay more money and be responsible for the maintenance, they've got a legally binding, as far as we can see at the moment. We do need to do some investigative work on that, but they currently have a lease where they're not responsible for doing that. So why would they?
Can I ask, was the last time we done some repairs there, when there was a hole appeared, was that a temporary repair then?
So we've done a temporary repair. There's one particular point in the car park which always seems to be...
It's a collapsing area,
yeah. We did a temporary repair, which the maintenance team, the town council maintenance team did, and then we got a more permanent repair done, it was probably earlier this year, and that wiped out the budget that we had, along with a small repair in Paradise Road that we'd allocated for repairs.
Councillor Lynch.
At this point in time, there's loads of question marks over this car park, and I don't think we should be spending any money on it because also, when was the actual last lease actually signed?
Thank you, Tony, that's my question.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I didn't quite catch all that.
When was the lease signed? Was that the question?
Yes.
Within the last 2 years. I haven't got exact dates. We didn't bring the lease with us. We won't.
Yeah.
But we can find that information out.
There seems to be loads of question marks over the car park, and I don't want to be spending the money that I'm money.
Well, we'll absorb it into finance, to go through a proper review process of budgeting and the finance committee, taking expert advice from those people on the council who have got some knowledge of what this domain actually does.
Councillor Dawn.
Well, I think we should leave this in abeyance until we get a working party to look into these leases. Because none of us, and I'm speaking for myself, I didn't know there was a new lease. We've never voted for it as far as I understand.
You have done it for council.
Have we?
Yes, we have, but the details of it wasn't given clearly.
In other words,
You voted for the lease to be with Morrison's, and that's as far as I can say. At this moment. I can't say them all.
Yeah, we just need to.
Councillor Sharman.
I know this lease was only signed 2 years ago, but surely there's a break clause in it.
We think the break clause is at 5 years, but again, we just
5 years?
we haven't got all the details here, so I'm going to say something that is incorrect. We obviously will take on board the public question and we can answer that, and obviously we can take direction from you. We'll look into the lease and we'll report probably first instance the property. Probably as a...
I think it ought to be linked with property and finance
What we
to see where we come out.
would like to get a decision on is if you want us as an office just to go back to that individual who would be interested in purchasing that part of the car park, and getting some details from them in terms of what that offer would be, and then you can make an informed
We owe it to the public to do that.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I wouldn't like to see us sell off the car park.
We must actually present the information to the public.
Yeah.
It can be so. I mean, if they've got a lease for the next 100 years, whatever it is, by the sound of it, can we sell it?
Well, we'd have to look at that, and as I said,
We could, not if someone's got a lease, unless Morrison's agreed to the sale.
Can we leave that at the back with the staff and then we'll take the property into finance to sort out the mess?
obviously we're not suggesting that you do sell the car park. What we're saying is if we go back to this individual, we can at least get some information from them, and then you can make an informed decision on what.
I agree. I think there's so many questions that need answering.
Yeah.
With every question we ask, another question's coming out. I think
Yeah.
it's something that needs to be addressed quite urgently, because there's so many unanswered queries going back years that some of us were not involved in, so we need to be updated.
Yeah, none of us were involved in. That's the problem.
If you want a resolution, it's
The only thing I would say is we need some sort of resolution at the end of the day.
All I was going to propose is a resolution for the further investigations carried out.
Right, your proposal, have we got a seconder on that? Yeah. All in favour? That's got to do that. Yeah, okay, thank you. We will investigate further and come back to you. Item 14, to discuss external auditors opt-out letter and agree action.
So basically we're subject to an audit as a small authority, and the rules around it are quite clear. So there is an opportunity to opt out part of that process. What we would like to do as staff is recommend that we stay in the audit process. Everything's above board and transparent, and we have a recognised programme then that we would follow. So that effectively is what we're suggesting, that we stay in the audit programme, which is the council to sort of propose it.
I think everybody proposed it and seconded it.
All in favour? Thank you.
Item 15, to receive an update on risk amend and agree action.
So this was a subject of numerous inquiries and questions to the office. As you know, we don't own that site, We're registered as a stakeholder because we're looking for allotment land. But in short, from the trustees of the Academy, the site owners, there are no current plans for the site. There have been no meetings regarding the usage of the land, and the last correspondence regarding that March 22. There's no further updates or plans in place for the Bristol site as far as we can ascertain.
Okay. Do you want to speak?
Yeah, could I make some comments on,
Please, yeah.
on Riston End? In 1936, the land that the Riston End estate occupies was given, or the site was purchased for Downham Market Grammar School. And in the 1970s, it was amalgamated with Downham Market High School, and the two sites, the Betwell site and the Riston End site, formed the whole of the school. Last year, Norfolk County Council gave the Riston End site to what was then the Cambridgeshire Educational Trust. They have been enveloped into another name. I can't find the new name for the trust, but they've hidden themselves with a new name. But they are, and I will continue to call them, the Cambridgeshire Educational Trust. They were given the remit for providing education to the sixth formers of Downham Market. The numbers had shrunk from 2005. They had about 250 pupils there. They had shrunk by January to just under 100. And by the time the children actually moved to the Bexwell site, the numbers had gone even further. It's great because the Cambridgeshire Educational Trust have raised the educational standards of Downham Market Academy, and they've now got a good Ofsted. But it doesn't change the fact that the Riston End estate was bought for the education of Downham Market's children, and it has a planning F1 status, which means it must only be used for educational purposes and or religious purposes. The catering block was literally sold the day after the site was closed, and the monies for that property, I've no idea where they've gone. They've obviously gone into the trust who own the site for the education of our children. What concerns me is that Norfolk County Council don't actually know who now owns the site. They have no idea. They know that they gave it to the Cambridgeshire Educational Trust, but that trust has now disappeared down into something else, and they don't know who owns it, and they don't know what the site should be used for. But we know, as Downham Market Town Councillors, that it's there for the education of our children, it's there for educational purposes. And I feel passionately that this site belongs to the town. It should not be sold off. It's a playing field that should be used for the children of the town, should be used for footballers or athletics or, dare I say it, an open-air Lido or tennis courts, you name it, or even allotments. Methwold has 25 acres of land allocated to allotments. The allotment holders down there have 1/4 of an acre each. We have a paltry, how many acres is it, Michael?
We did have two acres.
2 acres.
It's now down to 1 at the end.
1 acre for our allotments. And I think as a town council, we are responsible for providing allotments for our town. I understand that that is actually one of our statutory duties, to provide allotment land.
And we are looking at acquiring more allotment.
But I just would like to say...
And we are registered with as a stakeholder on the Riston site, as I said at the start there, to try and secure more allotment land.
I just think we need to know where the land lies, and we need to know that we cannot be done. I don't trust this Cambridge Educational Trust. I don't trust them because they've disavowed themselves. And I think the land should revert to Norfolk County Council, and then they should give it to us, as they did the town hall, for £1.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree.
Councillor Lynch.
Well, I just want to agree with Councillor Pennington. We, as a council, need to keep an eye on this land and make sure it isn't turned into a building site.
That's what this is what we...
And that we keep it in
Please, Tom.
education.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Councillor Lever.
You can usually, I don't know if you can find businesses on land registry, but the site, the government site, have you tried that? I don't know if you can do it for private to see who owns it.
It's not there. It's not been registered.
It's not.
No, it's not there. It's as far
No.
as Norfolk County Council. And if you phone Norfolk County Council, they tell you that they own it. Oh, well, at least they think they do. But they don't.
Michael, did you want to speak still?
Yeah. Speaking of, as chairman of Downham allotments, we've now had to squash all of our tenants.
I'm really
into-
sorry, can I just stop this conversation here? Because we need to be really careful. We've just said something really bad about Norfolk County Council. We're now saying something bad about a trust, which we've got no evidence at the moment of. And we as a town council need to be really careful what we're saying. And I'm really sorry, Michael, but you can't speak as a member of the Allotment Association because we're not in public participation. We are watching this as an office, but we have very little control over what is happening until someone puts in a planning application. And even Liz Truss is involved in this as well. So there are eyes on this, but we need to be really careful what we're saying that people are doing, because we don't know that that's happening.
Can I, that was a comment I was going to make. I understand everything you've said, but Downham Town Council is purely a stakeholder, and we have to accept that at this moment in time.
And
and the office are on top of this.
And the last update we had, currently there are no plans
Yeah.
in place for that site. And obviously if there are plans put forward, then we will see them as planning consulting.
Okay, I'll end this conversation now and we'll move on to the next one. To agree planning protocol.
So the draft planning protocol went out for you all to have a look at, and there was a couple of comments had come back. There's a minor grammatical change on page 2, line 7. It should read, "It is, not it." So we have corrected that. So once we've corrected that, are you happy to adopt that as a planning protocol?
Frank, are you happy with that?
Barring the, obviously, typos, etc.
We've got a seconder? Thank you.
All in favour?
Thank you.
Number 17, to receive an update from the council solicitors on land and property lease at 106 Howdale Road and agree action.
So, as town councillors, you also are trustees, and as you know, both parts the office have been looking at trying to get somewhere in terms of where we are with the leases, ownership of the sites. So we've had a bit of an update from the solicitor, and there's pages and pages of it. So
I'll read it out.
Going to try and summarise, but basically it's just an update on where we are. Probably what we need to do is get the trustees to call an AGM rather than the town council. So the Howdale Community Association had a lease which was issued in 2000. That has now expired, but it's a protected lease, so it will run on. And some of you already know this. What further complicated is that Downham Town Council gifted the site to Fields in Trust to protect the site, so it can only be used for recreational purposes, which was fine. Fields in Trust were not aware of the lease between the Howdale Community Association. So it's up to the Howdale Community Association now to determine whether they want to renew that lease and whether the town council want to offer that lease, and you keep the charity running, or you dissolve the charity and it comes back to the town council. If you want to renew the lease, then it would be subject to granting and gaining permission from Fields in Trust to do that. The solicitors don't think that would be too much of a problem, but it just needs to be done for the record. It wasn't done last time round. And there's a few restrictions in terms of the title deeds. It was mortgaged by one company, it's now changed now, so they need to be removed from the title. but this is probably more for the trustees at this point. Even though you're all trustees as town councillors, this is a council meeting and not a trustees meeting, so that's probably all we can say on that.
Yeah, so we'll call the trustees meeting. As and when. Number 18, to discuss community infrastructure levy projects and agree action.
What do you want us to try and get some money for? So,
I don't know.
SIL applications reopen this month. Again, as a bit of a last minute one, we submitted a bid last time round for the town hall kitchen to be upgraded and refurbished. We've obviously got lots of groups that use the town hall and use the facilities when they're renting it, and obviously we do functions in here as well, so we use it. We failed on our last bid by 1 point. We've been asked to come back again, and we think we can strengthen the case and we can actually get the application over the line if that's something you want us to pursue. Or as a council, do you have other ideas? We're not limited to one application, and actually there's different pots of money for different levels of spend. So some of the things that we've been talking about in the office and things that have been brought to us by councillors and members of the public is obviously to go back and do the kitchen bid, to look at the refurbishment of cinema equipment. So obviously it would be used for cinemas, but we use that AV system in here for meetings like this, and other things, so we could look at that should you wish us to. We could possibly look at, we've looked at the previous successful applications on SIL, and there was money given to a parish for relocation of their clerk's office, so we could pursue money to help us with the number 6 if you'd like us to look at that. And also we're going to investigate whether, subject to obviously what we discussed earlier, whether we could get some money to support the Christmas lights project as well. That is what we're working on and looking at, but of course we don't have all the ideas, and if there's something you want us to look at in particular, then we can take that away.
Right, comments?
I noticed on the next one, I don't want to jump the gun, purchase of sound equipment, but cinema last time out managed to have the most amazing sound system on loan, I believe, as a trial. And it made such a wonderful difference, and it would enhance the quality, for example, now, permanent thing, and it's for the people to use. This is a wonderful building which is underused and would encourage public to have so many more uses. So I think that would be a really good idea.
The only thing I would say is that the cinema is different to this sound system, so the two are separate systems.
It's bits we can cross
One's
over.
with,
Fair enough. But even so, it was
the
just
5-in-1 system worked at the last
it was just
cinema
an amazing sound for the public.
Downton Abbey. We need a new projector, and we need probably new screen, because it's getting a bit tatty now in age, and we need a sound system, and that's for the public use, and they will use it more.
And also some better seating might help.
And we need councillor Lever to tell us everything exciting.
No. It's just that I've been online and read about SIL, and I found out on the government website that we can apply for more than what they're giving us, like the 25% SIL payment.
So there's probably a bit of confusion there. So we as a town council on SIL rated projects get 15%, subject to getting a neighbourhood plan in place, which is what we're working on. We will as a town council get
up to
25%.
Yes.
But these are, so for instance, if a housing development was on SIL rated land, a percentage would go to the planning authority for a council, who would then give us currently 15% of that SIL payment. Over and above that, we can apply for SIL grants from that bigger pot of money, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah, but we should get on with that then to try and get more, like up to 25%.
Yeah. Councillor Boys, you've got your finger up.
Yeah, so can we go for the lot of this then? Sound equipment and redecoration clock. Can we go for other grants to get this paid for? Put it all in as separate grants?
Yeah, that's what we want to do, yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is these are some of the ideas we've got, but
What is your capacity for handling all of this work?
it's a couple of days for us to get some sort of applications.
You have the bandwidth to do it?
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
No, okay, thank
It's
you.
the right thing.
Yeah.
No, but so the answer is, we've got the answer, they can do it, so it's a
Let
matter of
them
just getting on with it.
Is there anything else in the pot that you think is urgently needed as a community project? Councillor
I
Leach.
keep getting asked about bike racks, secure bike racks, because bikes get nicked all the time. You need something out here in the middle of town where people can chain
I
up their
think
bikes.
that's already in property, isn't it?
That's been
That's
voted
what
on.
we've done, is it?
Yeah. Councillor Michael.
Yeah, air conditioning in town hall, if it's going to be hot like summer, we've just had.
I don't know whether that'll happen, but we can try.
I was going to say, can we explore every avenue and use every link possible to bring this point system up, so we do get our grants?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're quite confident that if you want us to, for instance, pursue the kitchen refurb,
Yeah.
we're quite confident that we could get that one across the line. Obviously, if nothing is...
Get our
100%
borough
certain, but-
councils involved to back us?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I know lottery grants are quite useful at the moment because Fincham has just had lottery grants.
Can I say something? The lamp of the projector is at the getting near the end of its dedicated life.
It's in hand, Frank. It's in hand. Should be sorted soon.
So the motion is, if the management team have the bandwidth, do we vote that they...
You want me first to pursue?
do the whole
You want
lot?
proposal seconder? Yeah?
I propose that.
Seconder?
Councillor Damon second.
I think Councillor Shan wants to say something first.
Yeah, with all these grants flying about, what's happening with the JCC? Are we getting any grants for that?
We can't
can't
move
talk.
forward with that until we've sorted out the leases. Literally can't do anything.
Not at all.
We've got to do that separate anyway to the town council at the moment until we...
Yes, I mean, all right, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
proposer,
Yeah, so
seconder,
Councillor Lawson, Councillor Damon.
all in favour?
Thank
Thank you. We'll get on with that one. Councillor Moore, you still got your finger up.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Can you put your hand up? It's easy, I can see you.
It's a lot easier to rest my elbow on the table.
I'm not used to you doing that.
Time you get seen, sometimes your arm could be aching and falling off. Could I add on the also on the list there, which seems to be really urgent to me, and I've mentioned before, is the windows on this town hall. The bottoms are rotting out, if you have a little look.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that's going to be a fairly big bill.
So the sill won't do infra. So, so in terms of like refurbishment and...
It's not, they won't touch repairs.
Yeah, repairs. So
It do kitchen, but it won't do outdoor repairs.
It's a replacement.
Sure. Can I suggest that we look at replacing it with double glazing then?
We've been told no by the Conservation Officer.
The conservation officer has been changed.
And I've spoken to the new one and the answer's still the
He's going there.
So it's no.
Try again.
So it's no. Okay, so that's in hand, that'll get on with it. Okay, we'll start 19 now. Did you want to say something?
I was just saying actually, a quick thing. Now with the new technologies now, you can actually make a double glazing window look like the old Virgin window. So,
You tell the conservation officer that and sort it out.
It's all right. I've got one in my pocket, so I'll be talking to him.
Right, to discuss and agree outside budget request from the Town Hall Committee. 19.1, purchase of tables, 5,000 net.
That's an awful lot of money for tables.
So that's...
Can let them answer that first?
So it's a replacement of these tables now, which I think some of them are date stamped 1970.
Really?
We've done a lot of the repairs, and some of the tables you'll see several sets of bolts in there. What we would look to do is not discard these. We'd look to keep the best ones, and depending on what event we had in here, we'd bring out the appropriate tables. But up to £5,000 is for 29 new tables, and tables like for like, they're £180.95 each, which gives us the...
We want this place to look nice.
Are they of light
Councillor Doyle, you
weight?
want to say something?
I'd like to propose that we buy the table.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a
In
more...
answer to your question, they are heavy-duty utility folding tables,
Yeah.
rectangular.
Shall we do one individual or shall we do
As long
more?
as they're 6 foot long,
Yeah.
1.8 metres.
Yeah, no,
We put these on.
That's all I'm saying, isn't it?
It doesn't say the weight on it, it just says
No.
height 735.
That's all.
What's the length?
Lightweight and strong aluminium frame.
That's
Aluminium
fine.
tabletop.
No dancing on it.
Hygienic, suitable for indoor and outdoor use.
As
Magnetic
if.
folding leg retainers, nylon corner protectors.
How long
That's
are
fine.
How long are they?
2 metres.
From here to there.
1.8.
1.8.
That's 6 foot in
Okay.
height.
Do you want to do them individually or do you want me to propose them all in one?
Individually.
Individually? Purchase of the tables for 5,000. Can I have a proposer, please? Seconder?
Doyle, Councillor Lane.
All in favour?
Thank you.
Purchase of the sound equipment, 4,000 net.
Well, we just have a comment that needs to...
So this is, I know you've just done the proposal for buying these tables because we had the quotes already, but this is just for the budget, that we still haven't got 3 quotes. So we don't know specifically how much this is going to come in at, but at the moment they don't have a budget. So we're
Okay.
not buying a sound system with this at the moment.
Just
And
give
this
us-
is purely a PA system with some extra spec with putting in some extra speakers at the middle so that people can hear in the middle and it doesn't just die at here. But this is not cinema related. No.
Okay. We had the complaints from members of the public about the
And cinema.
quality, so...
Cinema all the time, we get complaints, they can't hear.
Yeah, but this isn't cinema,
No,
this is
this
PA.
isn't.
This is things like the horticultural use when they do their shows, etc.
Bingo.
Theatre goers, those sort of
Quiz
people.
night.
Okay, Frank?
What are we going to do about the reflection of sound off the walls, because they're so hard now? They've lost their absorbency. They reflect it as a hecker.
Okay, it
Until
didn't
the
affect the
investigation
evening.
work's done, I can't
Thank you.
answer that at the moment, but as I say, this is purely a budget. This is not buying anything specific.
Oh, you just...
Okay,
Yeah.
can I have a proposer to purchase sound equipment?
To give
Budget.
a budget for purchasing.
No, okay, a budget to purchase.
Councillor Pennington?
second.
Councillor Lane, all in favour? Yep.
Thank you.
To discuss and agree redecoration of the clock room and entrance.
Again, this is a budget
This is a
line.
budget line,
I think I'm all the quotes in there.
okay? Up to £4,000. Can I have a proposal?
If it needs
Wait a
to.
minute, Councillor.
Question?
Yeah, can I just ask that before any redecoration is done, that all the damage at the roof is sorted and the cracks are looked at properly?
I would imagine they do it all properly, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't know,
If
because
they're professional.
it's no good redecorating if you're still having leaks.
But again, this is for the budget
Budget.
for it, so Town Hall Committee would then be in charge of making sure all of that is done to spec.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Proposer, please.
Councillor Lawson,
Seconder.
Councillor Lewis,
All in favour?
thank you.
Thank you. That's their budget sorted out. Spend it wisely, Mr. Chairman. I'm watching you. Right, now we come on item 20, to discuss and agree a co-option of Mrs Anne Marcy. Would you like to stand up and have a word with us, please?
I was going to bring a big pad and shock you all, I was going to talk for half an hour. It's
I'll give
actually
her
a
2
posting
seconds to
note.
speak.
We're going home at 9, Anne.
Yeah, all right. That's all right, time me. Okay, so a little bit about me. So I'm Anne Marseille, I'm 53 years old. I'm married to Mark. Mark is a civilian worker at RAF Marham, and he served 35 years in the RAF. And I am a project manager in capability for UK typhoon support at RAF Coningsby, but I generally work at home. I'm also a small business owner, so I've got a little business called Norfolk Cougar, which nobody can pronounce. It's all about cosy living, and it's a little gift and well-being business. So I attend craft fairs. I also come on the market on an ad hoc basis as well, which was great. Hobbies. I'm an author, albeit in the Middle East, but there's another story, it was in English. Love photographing, reading, walking. I've got 2 children, they both went to Downham Market High School. One went to the 6th form when it was at Riston End. They've both grown up and left home now. So, why do I want to be a councillor? So, for me, I want to be a voice for people to bring their ideas to, not just their issues. So, you know, we've got 10,000 people in the town and probably 10,000 people in surrounding villages. There's got to be some great ideas out there. So I'd like to be a point of contact for people to feed those into. I'd also like, obviously people have got issues they'd like to bring to the council, so use me as a point of contact for the ward for those. But I want to passionately begin to make Downham Market, as a resident and also a small business owner, the choice for investment, business and employment. And one of my key bugbears you brought up tonight is littering and dog mess, so I'm sure that will become part of my issues as we go forward if you co-opt me onto the council tonight. Any questions?
Councillors, have you got any questions for Anne? No? Okay. Right, she's asked to be co-opted. Can I have a proposer and a seconder then? You've got a proposer?
Councillor Lewis?
Yeah.
Seconder? Councillor Leach? Yeah. All in favour? Madam, you're a councillor.
Well, not too
Come and take a seat. You've got to sign, you've got to take a seat. You'll have to sign the declaration now. It's £5 a week to George Lee.
There you go. Thank you very much. Taking up.
Just about. What? Not a lot.
Come to order, madam, quickly.
Thank you. I'm here.
Right, to submit items for the next agenda. Has anybody got any burning items? Mind you, the amount we've got still left on the table, I think we don't want any more.
Well, enough burning items this year
Councillor
already.
Hobbs.
Yes, 1 or 2 people have mentioned to me the state of the town centre as it is. Buildings that have not been brought up to standard. For instance, the building where the peacocks occupy. I just hope we're following up on that to find out what can be done about.
That was part of our
improving it.
conversation with the retailers who highlighted that question.
That's right. Yes.
And also they want some scheme to do shop fronts and things. So that is something we will discuss once we get all the paperwork together. Councillor Walsh.
I've got a parking issue, but I'll bring that to the car park meeting.
Okay.
All right.
There is something I've noticed as well in is that street?
There's a tree growing out of it.
There's a tree growing out of one of the buildings.
A buddleia, a massive buddleia.
A massive
Right.
buddleia been growing out of one of the trees.
On the high street.
Get the number.
Yeah. Because
and pass it to the office and they'll look at it.
Yeah, because I was just thinking if you're growing, I think we're going to have something going to fall down to the pavement.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody want to put any agenda items? Okay.
There was one other thing. Are we going to have a festival next summer?
We don't have a
Music
festival. The festival committee has that.
That's out of our hands, I think that one.
Councillor
Lehman's
The meeting last Thursday night, when we had a very successful meeting with the businesses, that idea came up, and the admin staff have got that all in hand again. But I don't say we're going to have one, or definitely, but it's
His hand's going up
something
all
that
over it.
is going to be discussed, etc.
I think
Councillor Hobbs again.
It's just to do with the music festival. Downham Live was a great success in 2019. And speaking to one or two of the business people in the town, they would very much want to support it again as soon as we can put it on.
Yeah.
It'll go on to community and event.
On community, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we should be doing these events with the business people a little bit more often as well.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
Yeah, meetings with them, we intend to do that.
I think we should be looking at another meeting with the businesses January,
Yeah.
February time, probably March, and also
We're talking about February, by the time everybody gets over Christmas and everything.
And
we'll
also
talk about
with,
February. Have a look at them again.
with the music live Downham Live thing as well. We have to be mindful that next year, springtime, possibly April, May, that we will have a coronation as well of the new king at some point. So again, will we? No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yes.
So that's not, no items need to submit to the next agenda. To confirm the date and the next full council meeting, currently the 18th of October. There may be an EGM called us, but we're not sure at this minute. So we'll let you know as soon as we can.
Is that next week? It'll be 18th of October in here at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much. Call the meeting closed.
Hold on, guys.
Thank you.